and find a comfortable seat. Either close your eyes or set your gaze somewhere out in front of your mat. Notice where you are in space. The air around you, the sounds, the places where you meet the ground. Notice how you're breathing. And then we'll start to deepen the breath. Long inhales that fill chest, belly, side ribs, back. Slow, steady exhales. And we'll pair up some movement with the breathing. So we'll start with just some seated cat-cows. So your inhales will tip the pelvis forward, open up the whole front side of the body. And your exhales will tip the pelvis back and open up the back side of the body. Maybe starting to bring some circular movement, inhaling and exhaling as if you're seated in a big barrel and your job is to scrape all the sides of that barrel with your rib cage. And we're using this first part of practice as a check-in, so as you move, as you breathe, what feels easy, what feels challenging, what feels out of reach. There are parts of your breath that feel smoother, parts of your movement that feel smoother or more difficult. And we're aiming to observe all of this without a lot of attachment to it or judgment, so just seeing how it is. Make your way back to center. Let's really set up our seat here. You're going to reach back down, find your right sit bone. So you can grab right on the inside edge of that sit bone and you're going to drag it back and out slightly diagonal. And as you pull that sit bone back and out, can you think about shifting your whole pelvic floor just a little bit to the left, creating some space there. Setting that down and noticing any difference between the left and right sides. And then we'll even it out, grabbing onto your left sit bone and pull that diagonally back as you slide your pelvic floor just a little bit to the right. Hopefully things are a bit more even now, a bit more grounded, and you can set an intention or dedicate your practice here. There's many reasons right now for us to kind of let our hearts kind of cave in to feel really protected, even though it's, it's the summer and it can feel a little bit nicer to open up. There's just a lot of heaviness in the world. So just starting out with a little bit of self-massage through the chest. And so you're going to just find your sternum, your breastbone, and your collarbone on that right side. And we'll just start to massage out the area right below the collarbone. And I like to think about gently pushing all of the tissue along the underside of the collarbone out towards the shoulder. Maybe giving that a little massage. Once you kind of hit the spot where it's like, okay, you can't really push any further, just kind of rolling around a little bit into that tissue. Maybe even bringing some movement into the shoulder itself, maybe even into the arm itself, maybe some circles. Think about really sliding that shoulder blade out and back. And then we'll do the other side. Again, just kind of gently massaging the tissue right below your left collarbone, as if you could push it out and broaden your whole chest. So as you get to the spot where then you can't really go any further, just giving maybe a couple of circles there. Think about moving that tissue down towards the armpit a little bit. And some movement in the shoulder can feel great. It can also feel a little bit intense. There's a big bundle of nerves that run through here, so just be gentle. Think about reaching out through the arm and the shoulder blade on your back spread a little wider. And then both arms reach out, reaching out through the heels of the hands. Curling the hands into fists and then reaching out to the tops of the wrists. And add some movement through the head and the neck. Use some shoulder circles as well. All right, and now let's take it up to a cat-cow. Same action that we did seated. So feeling the pelvis tip forward and let that pull you into an opening across the front side of the body. Feel the collarbones lift up and spread wide. And then exhale into your cat. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Inhale, cow. And one more time, exhale, cat. Let's lengthen out the stance a bit, bringing the knees further away from the wrists, and we'll come down onto the forearms. Go ahead and interlace the hands. You're going to press the elbows down, press the wrists down. And as you press the wrists down, let that help you pull your shoulder blades slightly back. Spread the collarbones wide. And then maybe start to let your chest sink a little closer to the floor. You could bring your forehead down. You could walk your knees further back. You could bend your elbows and turn your hands up towards the ceiling. So coming into Anahatasana, heart chakra pose. Feel both knees pressing evenly down into the floor, tops of both feet pressing down. Front side of the body is long. Back side of the body lengthening really from the tailbone back, as if your tailbone could still kind of pull you back even as your chest sinks further down. And then right where you were massaging along the undersides of the collarbones, can you imagine spreading out wide, as if you still had your hands there helping to spread that whole area from breastbone out to armpit. And you can release the hands down, walk the knees a little closer in, and come back into child's pose. Walk the hands as far forward as they can go in your child's pose. Take a breath in and then exhale. Come up into a long cat pose, feeling your hips move forward and down. When the pelvis touches down, think about pulling the mat back underneath you as you slide your heart forward, collarbone still wide. Inhale. And then exhale, lower all the way down. Bring your arms down by your sides. Inhale, lift everything up. Exhale, bring the hands under the shoulders. And then keeping the back bend that you have, we're just going to tip it all back until the feet touch down. Inhale. Exhale, chin tucks. Come through your long cat pose. And back to child's pose. Do that 2 more times. Breathe in. Exhale, long cat. Inhale, cobra, heart forward, collarbones wide. Exhale, lower down. Arms down by your sides. Inhale, lift everything up. Hands under the shoulders. Exhale, tip it back. And then inhale, maybe lift a little higher. And exhale through cat into child's pose. 1 more time. Breathe in. Breathe out, long cat. Breathe in, cobra. Breathe out, lower down. Breathe in, locust pose. Hands down, exhale, tip it back. And then inhale, cobra. And exhale, child's pose. Hands under the shoulders, press up onto your hands and knees. You can sit back on the heels. You can always fold up a little blanket and tuck it behind the backs of the knees if this is too much on the knees. But we're going to tuck one foot over the top of the other foot. So your right foot can be nestled right into the arch, the sole of that left foot. And then we're going to sit back any amount. You could do this with your hands on the ground and just put more weight back towards the hips. Or you can come right up onto your knees, onto your shins. Feeling the pressure of your right foot in your left foot. And a little massage there. And then we'll take the foot from the left arch right into the back of that left lower leg. Same thing. You might not sit back, maybe just bring a little bit of weight into the lower legs. You can almost feel for letting that right foot, right lower leg, kind of drag back along the left lower leg, giving a little massage right beneath the calf, right into like the Achilles. And then maybe one more a little closer to the knee if you can. And then we'll do the other side, left foot into the arch of the right foot, and can sit back any amount. Some wiggles from side to side. And then we're going to take that left foot into the right lower leg, below the calf. And think about kind of, as you bring weight back towards the feet, just kind of dragging your left leg down your right leg to give it a little bit of a massage. And then right up into the back of the knee if you can. You can always do this with a blanket, but I'm working propless here, just trying to grab a couple of minutes where I can to get some practice in, and then you can release that. Go ahead and tuck both sets of toes under, and you can either keep the hands on the ground, pressing back to open up through the soles of the feet, just bring some weight back towards the hips, or you can go ahead and sit right back up onto your heels. Taking the moments where it feels the most intense to really connect back in with the rhythm of your breathing, anchoring yourself in the longer exhales. And doing our best to be an observer of the intensity instead of letting it really wash us away. So that we can maintain that focus on our breathing, so that we can maintain a connection to our physical bodies, so that we can keep ourselves present. How do we not get washed away? And hands can come down and we'll tap out the feet. Back into downward facing dog. Walking out the feet, calves, and seeing if you can find that balance between the opening of the front side of the body and the opening of the back side of the body. Finding that just really long neutral spine, so there's no back bend, there's no forward folding here. Nice neutral pelvis and long spine. Head in between the arms. Soft through the belly. And we'll inhale and take the right leg back and up, bending and opening up that leg. Step in between the hands as best you can. Help that foot up there if you need to. And we'll just find a runner's lunge. So right knee moving forward, left heel reaching back, feeling for, again, that nice long spine. I want you to feel like you could push that back leg into an imaginary wall. And that as you push off that wall with that leg, it helps you to grow your spine a little longer and maybe lets your torso be a little lighter so that you can hold your hips. Spread the collarbones wide. One more breath in, and then we'll exhale. Release the knee, release the hands. Heel toe that right foot out to the right a little bit, turning the toes wide. You can open that front knee up. Maybe take a little peek over the right shoulder. Maybe bend your left knee and hold your foot. So coming into a little quad stretch if it's available for you. If not, we're working here. And that opening that you're going to get across the front of that hip is plenty. And then release it. I'll take a moment here just to bring that right elbow towards the floor at the inside of the right foot. And then we're going to inhale, reach the right arm up and open, opening the chest. Exhale, bring it back down again. And two more like that. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Right hand can come around, step back, downward facing dog. And we'll do the other side. Inhale, the left leg reaches back and up. Bend the knee, open the hip. Step in between the hands. And we'll set up our runner's lunge. Nice deep bend in the front knee, length through the back leg, as if you're pushing that back heel into an imaginary wall to really plug your spine in. And maybe you hold your hips. Can you ease your left hip back in line with your right? Can you keep your chest open? And then the hands can come down, back knee down, widen the left foot a little bit. And you can press the knee open and take a little peek back. If this is enough, great. Maybe bend the knee and hold the foot. One thing I learned working with a very different body post baby is how much more interesting the practice can be when you are really limited in movement. Sensations that you haven't felt in a while. When I was practicing hours a day, there were so many poses I would come into and there was just not a lot interesting there anymore. But your body will definitely tell you when you're going into something that is new or you haven't been in a while. It definitely talks to you in a different way. And I've really been enjoying it. So you can release that back leg down. Then we'll take the we'll take the left elbow down towards the inside edge of your left foot. And then we're going to inhale, open it up. Exhale. And then bring the hands down. And this time, we'll step back into downward facing dog. Inhale, come forward into your plank. And start to lower the hips. Spread the collarbones wide. Pull the chest forward and up as you lower those hips down. Push the arms nice and long and straight down into the floor. Collarbones continue to spread wide and lift up. So land in and an upward facing dog with your toes tucked under. From here, if you want to untuck the toes, please feel free to get back in. And then again, exhale, downward facing dog. And we'll release the knees down. Sit back on the heels and find your breath. We're going to interlace the hands at the lower back. We're going to bring those interlaced hands over to the right hip and bring the right ear towards the right shoulder. Relax your jaw. Feel for sliding your left shoulder blade down your back. And as if you were using your right fingertips, spread that left collarbone wide. And then back to center. You can change the interlace of your hands so that you're in the non-habitual, and then those hands come over to your left hip, left ear to left shoulder. Same thing here. Let your jaw go. Relax your forehead. Right shoulder blade down your back. And you're spreading the tissue of your right chest as if you could massage it out from the sternum to the shoulder. All right. From here, again, interlace the hands and roll the chest open. You can think about just reaching your knuckles towards the floor as you lift up through the center of the chest. And you could work right here. You could also take your heels and your knees just slightly wider and reach back down for your heels. Again, spreading the collarbones wide. Lift and open up the chest. And then from here, maybe lift the hips forward and up, coming into your camel. Keep the chin tucked right into the chest, or you could let the head hang back. As if you're spreading that chest wide, massaging that chest tissue wide, right underneath the collarbones. And you're feeling your sacrum slide forward and up, and your pubic bone softening down. Let's take one more breath in, and then exhale, release. If I had 20 minutes, I might do several more of those. Now lie right on our backs. Coming into supported rest, hands on the belly. Feeling the back of your heart settle right into the ground. You've got to let the world break your heart over and over again, and just stay with it. A quote from Jules Levinson, who I learned studied meditation with years ago, and it resonates more and more these last 10 years. You've got to let the world break your heart. You have to have a heart that can be broken. You have to care. The equanimity that we practice in yoga is about letting yourself feel all the things without getting fully washed away. Staying grounded enough that you can take all of that emotion, all of that passion, all of that heartache, and still be able to turn it into action. And if you get washed away, you can't do that. So how do you let your heart break over and over again and stay with it? If you're still really focused on that slow, even breathing, you can let that go. Take Shavasana, extending the legs out long. If you have more time to spend here, please do, or else bend the knees and roll over to either side. Press up to your seat. Take a moment, just remember your intention and your dedication for practice.